Welcome back, world builders. We are updating the biped recipe for 2025, and this is actually going to be using Maya 2026. I wanted to make sure that this first part of the assignment is really clear because this is a beginner's class and everyone's just getting started here. So one of the first things we did under create polygon primitives, we turned on interactive creation, and we made a human reference um, cylinder, right? So this is my you say I have this pretty crazy scene at this point. If I turn all this stuff on, let me save the scene. And you can see that I have the library of parts is getting truly out of hand for one scene. I don't even, let's see if everything is working in here. Yeah, stuff's working. There's the old first one from a few years back. As I go up, there's the feet, there's the head. There we go. So these are all the layers. There's the little parts for pieces for the eyes, nose, and the ears, right? There's the skull caps and the face masks, raccoon eye, bandit mask. There's some teeth and spikes for some dragon heads. There's some really quick alien heads. So as all this stuff's coming in, there we go. There's one of the kind of Death Knight demon antler demo. I don't know what year that was from. It's all emerging. It's all post-COVID though, so there we go. So there's like the mass of stuff that's going on, right? It's been going on for a while now, and I probably shouldn't have recorded all that, but hey, just so you see where all this is headed to. Okay, so you have a nice clean scene, right? And you have set your project. So I'm going to go File or Create Polygon Primitive. I'm going to go up here to Cylinder. Now, if you didn't yet, take your tool palette here and drag this tool. It'll appear, it'll float. I always very carefully get up here next to the outliner and drag it next to the outliner slot right there. Those two are the main ones I need. And for this one, I'm just going to go 20 and 160 to 170 is fine. And I try to get the axis divisions down. We're going to use eight-sided a lot, but 12 for the torso and the cap subdivisions right over here. As I'm pulling these up in the biped recipe right here, page 10, I have the actual numbers for each of the body parts that you need. I'm going to expand this for animals. This week we're going to start doing cats and dogs and bears and bulls and things like that. Some deer, some horses. So four subdivisions high is usually pretty good. So we'll go four, and then the axis usually that's all you need for the cap. You can just leave it at one. You don't have to round it. So that's going to be an actual size that gets done. So it should if I now switch over here and I click, see if I can go to the uh, one time here. There we go. Click and drag. If I've already gone here and started to click and drag, um, sometimes there we go. It's kind of clicking and then letting go and dragging. You'll see I have my keystroke modifier on there. There we go. So what I have now is I have my average human height. Now the attributes for this, remember Maya always puts the pivot in the center of the object, even if you draw it flat on the ground. So one of the first things I do here is I can't see the wireframe on solid, so I go Alt 5 on the keyboard. That puts the wireframe on solid for everything. And I kind of tilt up underneath there just a little bit, hold down D, and then V to snap to vertex, grab the little circle and drag down to the center of that vertex, let go. And now I hold down X, which is going to cause this to snap to the grid automatically. So now whatever I'm building is flat on the grid. So that's my average human height. I go to the attribute editor, which is this little button right here. I go to the piece cylinder, I can see its attributes, and I can actually go in here and change. So if I wanted to make this eight-sided, I can undo that. If I wanted to make this 12-sided with instead of eight, if we did, or four, we did eight divisions, which we'll do a little bit later. You can do that. So, but if I make a copy of this, it won't, right? So if I hit Control D and I duplicate this, it now breaks the node from the original polycylinder standard primitive creation, which is right up here, right? It's also here. It's also in the tool settings here when you click on the cylinder. So just remember, if I click one time with the tool settings already done, it's going to remember what you did last time. Or I can click and drag, hold, and then go up. Or I could just click this, and then just one tap click, one time will put it to the dimensions that you've entered in there. Okay, so very quickly, the spirit of this is to be able to create to the correct size a torso, arm, and leg, and then we're going to extrude very quickly the little mitt hands, a foot, and a head off of this piece. So this is a 12-sided cylinder, and one of the first complex parts to do here for the torso is to right-click, go to edge, and you want to get rid of these diagonals right here. Now I have my symmetry tool on, so if I go to my tool setting symmetries here, object X, X is left to right, right? That's the red on there. So always get rid of these diagonal pie. We don't want pie wedges. We want everything to be quads. We don't want any triangles on our character mesh. So I'm going to hit the delete key. And there, now we can see, let me turn off the grid for just a moment, that was working just fine. Now if I'm going to make a neck coming up from this. So I can choose to go across the chest here. I can go up here and over the shoulders, right? Same thing down underneath here. So that's a torso. I'm just going to leave that for just a moment. And I'm just going to start scaling things. So this is my average human height right here. So this is just the torso. So I'm going to crunch this down and pretend this is the torso, which includes your rib cage as well as your pelvis, right? So if that's the average human height, then it needs room for a neck, right? And it needs room for arms and legs and everything. So maybe the neck's there, the head's there, and just a very quick approximation. And we're usually a little bit wider than we are in the depth, right? Making sure you're looking. Don't use this box, it just messes you up, I think, when you're first learning. And very quickly now you can see if you just squinch that little cylinder, you have that set up. Okay, so the next one here, I'm going to use for the legs. So I'll just, actually, I'll do a new one. Let's do a new one. So I'm going to go to the cylinder here and we'll do this as a 8-sided 4 and 1. Right, so I'm going to change the height there, and the radius will just go 10 for the radius, and for the height for the leg. Let's see if the whole human height is 160. Let's just try 60. Let's see how that looks. Okay, I'll click one time, and that's pretty close. Looks all right to start with. You just want to be next to your human reference, right? And what I'll do with this first P cylinder is I'll go in here, I'll type in human underscore ref. No special characters, no caps, no spaces. Keep it nice and clean. If you accidentally hit the space bar, try and hit, just don't click on any of the menus and hit the escape key. I find it just confuses beginners. Down here for the foot, I want to isolate selection. Here's a little isolate right there. And for this one, I don't need the faces for the top, so we're going to take more than we need and then hold down control and let go of the ones we don't want. I'm just gonna, that's faster than going up here and going 1, 2, 3, 4, and clicking on them one at a time, right? We want to keep the we want to keep polygons on the foot on the bottom, and here's the front. And so we want to get rid of the diagonals again. So this time for the 8-sided, it's much easier to get rid of. We'll just do these two and get rid of that. So now it's all quads. If I hit 3 on the keyboard, it's going to round it out. Subdivide and smooth at one time. I hit 1 on the keyboard, it goes back to the lowest polygon. So you're really learning subdivision, division geometry, like from low poly to higher poly. There's the isolate tool. Back on and off again. So there's one leg for the character, and we don't want the legs touching in the middle on average, so we want to make sure that that's going to slide nicely into the torso. Do another one here, so I'm going to go make another cylinder and check the tool settings. 1060 841 is fine. Click one time. This time I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. And as I'm rotating it 90 degrees, I can switch over to my channel here and set minus 90. It could be positive or minus 90, doesn't matter which way it goes. Switch to my move tool, bring it up near the armpit right here, hit F on the keyboard to zoom in. Oops, spacebar. And again, I want to get rid of the diagonals on the edge on both sides. On this side, though, we're going to insert that into the armpit here. So I'm going to go to face mode, marquee drag across, and then take away these. I just want to delete these faces. I don't want interior faces when I connect the arm to the body. Okay, I'll scale this down just on the 2 axes right here. So I'm going to keep the length on that and position it right about there. Should be good. Go back spacebar, go to the top view, hit F on the keyboard, And then again, Alt-5 gets our wireframe on mesh, so I want to keep it mostly centered on the horizontal key line. And you can check it also from the front viewport, looking okay, or side viewport, excuse me, and then the front viewport. Orthographics do help. There's the yellow line in the middle. So we're kind of off center at the moment, looking at it from the front. So let's get these, all these over closer to the middle of our scene. So I'm going to go to my front viewport here, and now I'm getting a little bit more precise. So I want to take this torso, I'm going to hold down X, snap to the grid. So there we go. I'm going to grab this one, bring it over a little bit more. It should be snapped on the ground already. Whoops, there's the arm. Bring that one over. And remember, the tool head, the arrowhead's always going to be the safest one. You can grab the line. Sometimes that's a little harder. You like grabbing the arrowhead on there. We'll go to the bottom of the foot here, and D and V. So snap to that vertex, and then let go, and then hold on X, and then snap that to the grid. And there you go. And that's going to be for sure centered up. You can see the lines match perfectly with the axis lines there. Okay. I can do the same thing with the torso here. Go to my top viewport, F, and turn the grid back on again. And hold down X. I'm going to snap it only forward on the axis now. It's right dead center to the world. Arm, same thing. Grab this arm. Hold down X, snap to the keyboard. And there we go. There is our little character that we need. So the interior faces for the top cylinder of the leg are deleted. The interior faces for the inside of the armpit are deleted. I got rid of the diagonals at the tip of the cylinder there. I got rid of the diagonals here, underneath and top. Now, one thing you have to add on here as you're working is that this needs to be all quads. We can't have any multi-side. So this piece up here has, if I look at the faces here on the edge, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sided shape, right? So technically pentagon. So that means this face right here is a pentagon. These are all quads, right? These are all 4-sided. So I'm going to fix that in a minute, and I'll fix the crotch as well in just a moment. But let's connect the arm. So one of the tricks we're learning in here is how to connect an 8-sided shape into another shape here. So what you wanted to have is 4 quad shapes. 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 shapes right here. We're going to extrude, and we're going to insert the armpit there. So what I can do for this torso is get the quads here a little bit more even out. So I'm going to double click this edge. I automatically edge loop all the way around the model. And I'm going to bring it up to right about there. I'm going to double click this one, bring it into the middle, double click this one, bring it right there. So they're now a little bit more square in nature. Not quite perfect, but they're closer, right? But these ones are long. So I'm going to grab all of these in a marquee drag, use the modeling toolkit, right? This right here. We're just really focusing on these main tools right here. So I can use the connect tool. So what that's going to do is that's going to connect parallel lines, edges within this form. And I can middle mouse drag it, do multiples, right? So let's just do enough. Hit enter. And there we go. So they're mostly evenly distributed now. And what that's going to let me do is go in here and grab these 4 faces here and insert the arm into the armpit. So if I go to X-ray mode, let's see if that doesn't really show up any better. Let's try the darker background in X-ray mode. Yeah, maybe see that a little bit better. Okay, so I grab these 4 faces here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I have symmetry turned on for now. Should be fine. And I'm going to use the extrude tool. Now, as soon as I hit the extrude tool, it has a gizmo, but it's always kind of funny to me. So I immediately switch to scale. And what's happened is those 4 faces have now been pulled out from this form. So I scaled it in on 2 axes like this, and that automatically gives me an entry point. And I can also turn it sideways here, where it's facing front, and I can scale it flat, switch to move, and move it outward. So now I have an area to put my arm. So I can bring this up a little and scale down maybe, go to the other view over here, and you'll see it looks like it's 4-sided, but there's actually 8 sides in there because between these 3 vertex points, vertices right here, between that line, there's actually 1, 2 edges there. So what we could do is I can take this one, the 4 corners, and on the 2 axes point here, on the Y and the Z, I could grab this and I can bring them in and make a little a little octagon pattern. There, now it's pretty darn close to the shape of the arm. I double click that edge, show you in X-ray mode, it goes all the way around. It does not. It stops at the 3-point intersection, so you have to be aware of that and grab those pieces. I could also flatten these out this way and bring them down so they're, whoops. Oh yes, that's right. I have, well, let's grab the vertices instead. So go to vertex, grab all these vertices and scale them flat. There we go. Yeah, when to switch from vertex to edge to face, you can change it up quite a few times. And you just kind of decide when to do it on the fly a lot of times when you get more experience. So there we go. That looks pretty good. Um, Time to delete those interior faces though. So what we don't want to do is we don't want to attach these vertices together and seal this arm up to the torso and have these faces inside still be there. So what we have to do is we have to go to face mode and grab 1, 2, 3 very, very carefully. 3, 4, 5. We don't want this one. So control takes away. Control plus shift makes a plus. So that's done. I'm going to delete that. Now I can attach that arm to the body. I want to do something similar down here around the groin. But before I do that, let's go ahead and turn off symmetry for now. And we just, it's the magic of digital, right? I just can, I just turned off. Symmetry. There we go. Okay. So I can grab one half, delete. I can just make one half of this work and then duplicate it. So in order for the leg to fit in here, what I have to do is I have to make a spot just like we did at the armpit. I need to make an 8-sided octagon shape attached to that leg. So at the center of the torso right here, what I'm going to use next is the multi-cut tool. So I'm going to cut, oops, make sure you have something selected first. I go to vertex mode usually and then go multi-cut. And I want to cut between here, 1, 2, and then 3 clicks and hit enter. There we go. And then to turn it off, always Q is your safety key, right? So now do we have 8 sides here? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's half of 8. But then we have 5 and 6. So what we have is if I were to delete these two faces right here, it's not quite 8 sides. So I need to cut an edge across here, and there's going to be 8 sides all the way around. So I'll go to my multi-cut tool again. Shift will automatically pick a center point when you get close to the edge. Click 1, 2, enter. Go down here, shift, click 1, 2, and you want to make sure and hit enter or return to make sure that it's finishes the tool. Okay, there we go. Now we just make this as round or closer to the octagon shape as possible. So I'll go to my move tool, go to vertex, and I'm going to grab this one and control shift. Actually, we'll just do them individually this way. And then we don't want the thighs to touch. You need a groin, right? You need an area through here for the leg set. But this looks pretty much, it's much closer to the octagon shape that we want. So now I can go to face. I can grab these two faces right here, hit delete. And if I go out of isolation mode now, I can see it should fit the leg in there pretty good. Time to scale, maybe a few things before I attach. Next, what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to attach the arm and the leg and torso together and finish off this torso. Okay, so the faces are deleted on the torso here. They're deleted on the torso here, so that works. They're deleted on the upper part of the leg up here, and they're deleted on the inside of the arm. But each of these are each individual objects, as you can see in the outliners. P cylinder 2, P cylinder 6, P cylinder 5. I'm not going to bother naming them. I'm just kind of going really fast for this one. So for the leg, let's scale it a little bit more like the shape of the leg. So it's going to be a little bit wider this way and thinner that way, and a little bit longer this way, which it kind of matches up and fits up inside the torso a little more, right? So for that one, I can right click, I go to vertices, and I can grab and I can pull these up. I can always change the color of my background, my viewport. Whoops, on the fly here, don't want that. I accidentally hit the space bar a lot. There we go. Maybe that's a little bit too narrow. I can bring it back out wider. Maybe just for the upper leg, right? Do this part. There we go. Yep, that looks good. And then maybe a little bit wider this way. Okay, probably fine. Just like we did on the torso, we can add some more edge loops on there. So I'm going to go to edge and swipe through there. Now, whatever I did last time is going to still have, so I had 3, so I got a middle mouse drag back to 1. Enter, marquee drag across there, connect, enter, go down there. And I'm just trying to get the quads mostly even to do this, and then down around the ankle. For this one, I'm going to do a 1, 2. And you'll see why when I do the foot. There we go. That should be fine. And go up here to the arm, do the same thing. And now you could just add more shapes in the beginning, but for beginners, I like to layer these things a little bit at a time. There we go. So here, 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 whoops, here and here. Those are all edge rings, and hit return, and it adds them in. And now I have a nice distributed set of edges on my limbs to connect these together. Okay, before I do that, let's grab all of these, and I'm just going to do a Control D and go to the Move tool. I'm just going to move these over to the side. That way you can grab you can grab an arm, you can grab a leg, you can grab a torso, grab a chicken wing, grab a rib. Yeah, but you're making your model kit body parts, right? So a little Frankenstein's lab. Okay, so to finish this off, I'm going to grab these pieces right here. I'm going to go to Mesh, and I'm going to combine them into a single mesh object now. And again, it messes with the pivot point. It likes to approximate the center of the pivot point on the fly. And then I can go D and then X, and I can grab that pivot and bring it to the center of the world like that. And just check it from the side view that it is indeed working. Check it from the top view. Check it from the front view. Okay, it looks good. Once I have it there, I'm going to freeze it, make sure on the channels the transforms and rotations are zeros and the scale's 1. And you see all these splits here from the inputs. All that stuff is in the history there. So let's delete the history. So now I have a nice clean starting point. Okay, so let's seal up the edges, and let's make the head, hand, and foot, and we're done. Back to the modeling toolkit. Now that they're the one object, I can go to target weld. This is right here at the vertex mode. And I want to go to the cylinder shape, so I'll keep the limbs nice and round. So I'm clicking on from the torso, I'm targeting to where I want to go to and weld, and go all the way around. So I'm only doing one half of the model right now. If you have it with symmetry on, it just becomes a pain in the neck. Just follow this process. I think you'll find it much easier. Go up here to the armpit, and it should be 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, there's a faster way to do this. I'm just 5, 6, 7, and 8. But I want to make sure that you know how this tool works. There we go. So that's pretty good. That'll work. Okay, let's seal this up now. We want to make sure there's no faces on the inside of the torso here. So I'm going to turn off target limiter Q. Will usually get you out of any tool you're on. Go back to object mode, right click, and go to the move. Make sure it's centered. If things are off a little bit, if I have like a vertex over here and over the vertex over there, I need them to be perfectly even. What I would do is go to the front viewport and marquee drag all of those vertices from that key line, check in X-ray mode, make sure I got everything. I missed one right there. Go to R to scale all the way down to 0. You'll see it's off the vertical key line still. Go to move, hold down X, and snaps it back to the grid. So you'll do that 100 times this semester, or as you're learning this, so you just get zen with it. Okay, so now I can go up here, and we're going to duplicate it to the other side. So we're going to duplicate special, there, -1 on X, make sure it's a copy, not an instance, and hit apply, and it should copy it across if you deleted the history and have it centered correctly. I can then grab these two sides, and I can combine them, mesh combine. But even though I combine them, if I go to vertex, I click on one of these vertex and move, they're not welded and merged together yet. So I'll go to my front viewport here and marquee drag so I get all the vertical key line all the way around the model from front to back underneath that. And we'll go up here to edit mesh and merge. And so what this will is merge them together with a threshold. If they're up to 0.01 centimeters away, they will merge together. So you got to be careful this isn't too high, or it'll start snapping nearby vertices to that one spot. So if I hit merge, hit apply, how do I test this? I hit 3 on the keyboard. If everything rounds off nicely, we're in pretty good shape. So it's looking a little doughy. Now that's what it should look like. So that is correct. So what we can do now is we can finish off the neck and the head. So I'm going to go turn my tool settings. I'm going to go back to symmetry. I'm going to turn symmetry back on object X. I'm going to go to multi-cut, and it should go across the shoulder. I'm going to create a shoulder and a neck region right here. So let's see, there's a couple ways to do this. 1, 2, buckle my shoe. There you go, hit enter. And just to complete this, to make the neck right, I'm going to go from the diagonal right here as well. So I'm going to go 1, 2, oops, That's right, it won't go. I have to go in the middle. Enter, and then we'll go from here as well. 1, 2, and enter. Now I have little triangles over here on the corner, so that's your option whether you want to connect them going across this way or you want to connect them going across this way for the shoulder region. So I can go in here and then hold down Shift, little center, and then go enter, and then I can go to the move tool, and where that triangle right here, we're going to turn that into a quad, make it nice and relaxed. So I'm going to grab these two, go to my scale tool and scale them in just a little bit. There we go. So now I have a nice starting area for the neck right there. For the foot, I'm going to go here to face. I'm going to grab this one, and I'm going to extrude that out. Instead of using the extrude button, I'm just going to hold down Shift and pull, and it gives me a little foot. And if I want to have a ball of the foot to bend of the toe, I can pull one more time. And we're not looking for any perfect anatomy yet, but you can do some little shifts and moves. We could probably also start make some of these areas thinner than others, but again, don't get caught up in any anatomy right now. That's kind of the next phase of this, but that's looking okay. And then we'll go out here to the neck region. So I'm going to go to the face mode here. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. This gives us a 1, 2, 3. This gives us 8-sided. And I'm going to scale these, maybe turn off symmetry when you're working at the center. Looks like I grabbed something down below. Yep, that happens. So Alt or Control to take away. There we go. X-ray mode back. And I can scale all of this in. There we go, about like that. And then I can move it up a little bit. I can also grab this edge right here that goes all the way around, and we could scale that in as well as like a part for the traps and the shoulders. And as I go up with this, again, I don't want too much anatomy, but just some subtle shifts. It's going to kind of curve forward. Make sure I just got the red one right there. Same thing right here. We can kind of take this one and this one, and these two on the side. I can turn symmetry back on, and we can move it down across the front of the chest and leave it up a bit higher back here in the back of the chest. But maybe we could get rid of some of the pointy areas and just round stuff off a little bit as you go, if you want. There we go. And next, let's give it a little bit more of a head. So I'm going to go right here, and we'll kind of even those out a little bit more. Go to face mode, and we're going to scale it in this way. There we go. And then hold down Shift, pull up, R, scale it back out this way. There we go. And then I'm going to hold down Shift and do one more. So there's our little head for the character. That's all you need for now. You don't have to do the whole sphere head yet. It's a little more detailed than we need. All it needs now is a thumb and some fingers, and we're good to go. So I'm going to go to vertex mode. I can grab this vertex. I'm going to show you soft select, which is B. Turns on right here, soft selection, the volume. To make it bigger or smaller, hold down the letter B and press your middle mouse wheel right to left. So right's going to make it a little bit bigger. And I can push it, it's just going to kind of have a fall off. The warmer colors are going to be more influenced, and cooler colors will be less influence. Kind of, there's go over here, hit B again, turns that off. I can go to scale. I can scale up at the shoulder right here. And if I go out here to the end, put the vertex on, if I can hit B again, I can actually scale that a little bit flatter at the wrist, like that. It kind of works. Yeah, just to introduce the tools to you a little bit at a time. Let's give them a palm and a thumb. So I'm going to go back to face here, turn B, turn soft select back off again, and go to my move tool. Make sure I don't have anything in the backside selected on accident, which I did. Hold down Shift, go 1 to the palm, R, maybe scale it out just a little bit, go back to 1, and Shift, scale, that's where the thumb's going to come out. Shift, that's where the first knuckle's going to go. I'll scale it in a little bit as I get closer to the outer part of the, oops, thought I was on edge. There we go, the palm. Palms are usually up a little higher. Oops, you gotta be careful in the end here that when I double click it doesn't go all the way around automatically. Something I forget sometimes. There we go. Again, you'll do an articulated, a very excellent detailed hand. So Don't worry about this being perfect. Okay, to that end, let's wrap this up. Okay, so over here, shift pull, first knuckle, scale down, and shift pull again, and shift pull again. There we go. Now for the thumb, we go right there. There's a little bit of an angle here. Shift pull 1, shift pull 2, and shift pull 3. There we go. There's the simplest biped character you could have. It's all quads. How do I test this? I hit 3 on the keyboard. Everything rounds off beautifully. Awesome. All right, go back to object mode. Hit the move key, W, and you see the pivots moved once again. So I'll go D and X once more, grab that circle, bring it down to the center of the world in between the legs. It's on the X and Y coordinates. It's flat, feet are flat on the ground. He's about average human height. Like this one's a little bit of a shorty. If I wanted to be a little bit different, I can see here in the inputs, I still have all this stuff that I put in there. Right, this is the history. So what I can do one last time before I export it is to scale it closer to the average height. So now he's about 5'6" or 7, and I can freeze it. So freezing it will get zeros to the translates and rotates, ones on the scales. There's still some stuff down here in the history, and then delete the history, and all that is gone. He is ready to rock and roll. So let's call him Biped 01. Control A, copy all that, Control C. And then I haven't saved anything. Oh my goodness. I'll go biped speed run. There we go. Run with the H, I guess. There we go. Remember, this is not sped up. This is all real time. So I'm just trying to go as fast as I can here. Okay, I have it set up. I can go File, Export Selection, not Export All, right? We don't all have this other junk in there. Just Export Selection. And it should take us to the scenes step by step. I got to update that to my 2025. Control V, I could paste the name from the outliner straight away, so I keep the same names. And I have it on FBX export. Let's scroll down and change that to OBJ and export the selection. If you need to make sure your OBJ is turned on, go Windows, Settings, Preferences, Plugin Manager, and go up here and type in OBJ. And you got to make sure that's turned loaded and auto load. For some reason, and some installs of Maya, it still doesn't automatically work. Okay, let's take this into Mixamo and see what it does. Okay, so I've logged into Mixamo. I'm going to go upload character. I can just drag and drop them from there. So I'm go to my scenes folder, and I have my biped OBJ object file. Just drag it in there. And don't remember, you don't need the material file or anything yet. We're just learning how to make a good biped with good geometry and how to rig and animate it. So we'll go to next and give him a chin. There we go. And wrists. Oops, wrists right behind the thumb. There you go. And if you have an asymmetrical character, you can turn that off, but leave your character symmetrical for now. Keep life simple. Using that digital power to do cool stuff quick. We have a thumb. The chain 2 fingers gives it a thumb and mitt on there. Or no fingers gives it just a paddle mitt, which wouldn't do, but we went ahead and put a thumb on there, so I'm going to go with the 2 chain fingers. And hit next, and that should go very quickly with such a simple character. And there we go. And you can see the thumbs are moving with the hand pretty well. There's a little bit of clipping. Go to next. And it's going to get rid of the one I had in there before. And now I can pick an animation here. Let's go idle. How many cool idles are in Mixamo? Quite a few. Standing to fight idle. Right? Oh, yeah. There we go. Not very exciting idle. Very neutral idle. Maybe a little like, back on the hip. Ninja idle. A little breath. The trick on there is have the breathing cycle not be in perfect rhythm with the rest of the body movement. That's a good one. Okay, and that's it for today. You can download this FBX file with the skin, and we'll try and download it into the same folder. It looks like it didn't give us an option, so I'm going to take that and we're going to load it back into Maya. Okay, so open up Maya, and I'll take this little guy. I'll put it on a channel layer, and we'll just call this biped_01. And if I need to, I'll put a layer for layer on the end, and I can hide it. And then I can go to my FBX download, and I can just drag and drop that right into Maya like that. Oh, I did not get it correctly. Let's see, did I download it with the skin? Let's see how old that one was. And yeah, make sure the biped name is not this identical to the one I had been renamed it biped to. But yeah, if you drag and drop this into your scene, there it goes. And now if I hit play, it's probably going to play really, really fast. No, it actually worked pretty good. You might have to change your settings on your playback. So that can be done here with the playback settings, time slider, and you want to make sure your frame rate's 24, you're playing back 24. Sometimes they'll want to do every frame on default, but if I keep it like that, you'll see you get a pretty nice little animation. We can light them and we can actually use them for some game animation we're working on. And that's it. That's the whole thing done in one quick setting. So try and get this one done. The other videos go very much slower step by step. So we'll see you in the next video.